This could be one of the first days in history. We are starting a live chat, not even on time, but a little bit early. I said that it would be at 11:11. Okay, yesterday I said 11, but then I was like, okay, 11:11 is much more magical. So how are you guys doing? This is the first time I've done this in a while. So hopefully the audio is working. I know I can always count on Christian for letting me know when the audio is not working. I did just get done interviewing a person who could be a potential social media helper, and he can help me with doing these productions. So let me just test that you guys can hear me. Okay. Hey, greetings. My life is finally not hectic as hell. I'm going to interrupt my puppy from eating because I think the last time you guys saw her, she was much smaller, and it was before I went to Dubai. So I just want to catch you guys up on what the hell is going on with life right now, because it's been too long. I had to take a little bit of a, oh my gosh, Harps. I owe Harps the biggest apology because I made a freaking Beast with Brains gratitude post of all the editors, but all the editors for CJI were in one group chat, and Harps and I would just like go back and forth one-on-one. And I completely forgot to ask him of a headshot of himself. So he was not in my CJI recent gratitude post, but this guy is the one that literally helped me so much, not even with just CJI, but PGF, all that. So I'm just like in a very crazy state of so much gratitude and feeling better again, because let me tell you guys, after Dubai, I was like, intrusive thoughts all the time. And I was like not able to function properly. And I think the goal for 2026 is to be more dedicated to my long form content and have trusted people that I know understand my flavor, my mission, my message, to do the short form. Because the short form is very important, but the short form is so instant gratification infused that for a person with a brain like mine, which is like very severe ADHD, it just does not work. So now I'm recording this on my new iPhone, and I have Instagram only on my old iPhone, and it'll stay like that. I feel so much happier, so much just in a better state of mind since being in Austin. I think when I first moved to Austin, I literally went back to Vegas, had a bunch of stuff shipped to Austin, and like my stuff is sitting on my porch or whatever, and a guy just robbed a bunch of my stuff. So at first when I was moving to Austin, it was like a struggle bus for me. But now everything is better. Feng shui is real, y'all. Feng shui is real. I used to have the bed out here because MILA was being potty trained, and I was like, okay, if she has to go in the middle of the night, I would rather her go on this wood instead of the carpet inside the room. But it was messing up my sleep so much. So anyway, that was my little tangent about everything. Harps, yes, appreciate you so much. We need to talk again because there's definitely going to be big news coming up. I know Quintet is going to continue doing what they're doing. CJI, obviously, the money is secured for CJI 3. Craig is out there doing his thing in Tulum. I kind of want to text Craig on this live chat. Yes, squeaky toy. You guys are going to have to deal with my new baby. Okay, pop quiz. What kind of dog is my new baby? She is like 20 weeks old, and she is the cutest bean ever. I got her literally the week after CJI because the dopamine crash was so bad. Like literally CJI was 9 months of just hard work and effort, and just, you know, like all of us not losing our mind. Like it was a pleasant experience, but like I think everyone can agree that any fight promotion or any fight going on, MILA, you're really gonna start annoying people. It's like usually a 6 to 8 week promo, whereas CJI, because CJI 1 was so good, there was all this hype and expectation for CJI 2, and we let that hype be for too long. Like when you're doing something for more than 10 months of promo, like obviously the expectation will be very high, but also your team is gonna have this sense of burnout. Like I love Craig so much. We were working on a show called On Borrowed Time, and I can't wait to go back, look through all that content, and make some evergreen fun content. But him and I were just like grinding, making content. And then the next thing you knew, we were like, oh my gosh, we're like a month away from the event. We're dealing with all this crazy stuff. Freaking Gable pulling out last second, him having an MMA fight the next time around. And then after all was said and done with CJI, like, there was a reason why I stayed off of social media and stayed off of like sharing my opinion on things, because I knew the week after CGI 2, no matter what, it was going to be crazy. And then obviously we had the controversy. So anyway, I didn't mean to make this like a completely jujitsu based talk right now. Obviously my thumbnail has some fun topics because I did go to Dubai for the first time, had a Dubai awakening. Dude, I would totally move to Dubai immediately if you couldn't get into severe trouble for partaking in certain activities. I feel like the Middle East is so cool still, but it's still not America. America. You get to like kind of do what you want in America, and you can do what you want in Dubai también, pero like, you know, you can't just go to an old, you know, I don't even smoke anymore really, but you can't just, in Vegas, you can literally go to dispensaries. Here in Austin, they have something weird. They have this like THCA thing, and I don't want this to get demonetized. That is not the devil's lettuce that I'm talking about. It's a different thing, but it's similar, but it's not ganja. They don't play games over there. They do not play games over there. If you get caught doing something silly, oh, it is the end for you. And actually, I'm gonna have to clip together the video. Dubai is one of the safest places that you could go. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm a female solo traveler. I'm here for work. You know, doing one of the best promotions that I could possibly be aligned with, Quintet. If you guys have not heard about Quintet yet and what we're doing in the Middle East, it's huge. It was a banger event, but basically I'm there by myself. And so I had a little bit of free time, and I go to the beach, and I thought I was being targeted at one point because there was 4 people back to back that came up to me, and they would like either have their Google Translate, and they would say something like, "You are such a beautiful rose. Like, can I get your number?" All this and that. And so the first 2 times is cute, but then the third time you're like, okay, like, am I being punked right now? And then the 4th time, something bad happened. And I am not going to talk about it on here, but let me just tell you that self-defense for women is so important. And as like someone who has kind of become the face of interviewing in jiu-jitsu and doing all these type of things, like, the fact that I train and do jiu-jitsu, and there are certain situations where I don't use these self-defense tactics because you have this fight or flight moment is scary. So I really want to make my big focus in 2026, like, not just training jiu-jitsu to be able to beat someone at Naga and get the Naga belt, like, be able to defend yourself, like, from random weird people in the world, because it is a scary world out there and crazy things can happen when you're alone, even as guys. So I think there's mainly guys in here. I know you guys get hit on in the streets. You know, sometimes you just need to pull on a can of whoop ass on them, you know? Anyway, I forgot what else was in my thumb. Oh, I watched Scarface for the first time. Have you guys seen that movie? I feel like weird that I have never seen that movie. So after I got this couch and I got my little like area set up, and Anthony Horta, the producer of CJI, let me have his TV because right now he's in Uganda and he's helping out with the kids for the Fair Fight Foundation, which is the main nonprofit partner of CJI. Yeah, I was just like, I just want to be an adult for once, and not adult in the sense of being responsible and working all the time, but an adult in the sense of like, hey, sometimes you just get back from work and you watch a fucking movie. Freaking movie. No cussing on this channel. You watch a freaking movie and you sit with your dog and you just enjoy being alive and a puppy mommy. I had no idea how draining I had an idea that the puppy was going to be draining, but like, it's a different type of, I love it so much though. I was starting to get baby fever. So now I don't have baby fever because the puppy has made me be like, okay, I can wait like a solid 8 more years. Scarface is a classic. Yes, I remember the part where he was like, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but if you haven't watched it yet, then fucking get on it. He, you know, marries the girl that was the ex-drug dealer, whatever, and she is like a druggie, and they're just at dinner, and he's just like, wow, I married a fucking druggie. she can't even like have kids for me. Like she's always doing this and that. Like, why don't you do something? Like, why don't you have a job or like an activity instead of just sitting at home all day waiting for me to come home and fuck you? And I'm like, damn, like you knew who she was when you married her and wanted her in the first place. And it also just like put into perspective like what the female role is then, was then, and like what it is now. Like I feel like we're in a time where obviously I feel like 5 or 7 years ago, the big thing was like, okay, women can be in the workplace. They deserve this and that and to be respected in this capacity. And I 100% agree. And then now I'm starting to learn so much more about just like, obviously men and women are so biologically different that I'm so happy that I decided not to go to the corporate route, because men go on daily cycles, whereas women are monthly. So like, you know, the 2 weeks that we have this magnetic energy and everything's all good in that, and then we have restorative. So it doesn't really go well with like the 9 to 5 of a corporate job, whereas guys, it works a little bit better. Anyway, and that tangent, all just to say that like, I am so impressed by women who are in the industry, like Megan O'Leary. She just had a kid, and now her UFC former fighter husband is taking care of the baby when she still grinds. And like there's this balance to everything, and everything that you once learned about this like traditional family style, like it doesn't have to be in. Like the more people you surround yourself with that are open-minded and not so attached to the perception of what other people think about their lives, like the better. So I just want to keep surrounding myself with people like that. I miss all the people that I was working with for CJI. I can't wait for that to come back. And yeah, Harps has some bar stories. Ooh, I recently went out Austin, Texas. So, okay, when I was originally coming to Austin, Texas, it was like right after CJI. And after CJI, I was just like so like, I was so ready to take on everything quintet, but after everything CJI, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is about to be like a really big shift in my life, because I'm literally moving cities. It's really hard moving by yourself because I'm Filipino as fuck and I didn't have anyone help me. Like a moving company, what's that? And I probably ended up spending more money just not getting the moving company to do shit for me. But anyway, I accepted a job here, being an MC for different sporting events. And so I'm doing that, but then I'm also booking gigs, and not just on-camera gigs, but also like packages. And I built out a team, which is my Beast with Brains team, about to become an LLC. And we basically book packages. And basically, I took what my corporate job was, and I am doing it myself. And I'm doing it with a different type of energy. I'm doing it with like a non-corporate energy. And I feel like that is like what's bringing in the good clients. And so I'm so happy for that. But yeah, it's definitely just been a roller coaster of emotions. Oh, I can't remember where I was going with moving to Austin. But oh yeah, what I originally thought when I was moving to Austin, I originally was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be like the place where I'm gonna settle down. I'm gonna get a boyfriend. We're gonna have a puppy. We're gonna have a slackline in the backyard. And everything is going to just be here in Austin, Texas. And then I'm like, what the hell am I thinking? Like, I went and looked at a few houses and was talking to a real estate agent. And so basically when I went to like get the loan or whatever, they were basically like, ma'am, you do not have enough money for this house. And I was like, but I actually do. It's just that I haven't filed for the taxes for the next. So that's the other thing. Like when you don't have a full-time job, you have to file your taxes and be a 1099 and then prove it in that way. So basically they just like popped that balloon, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm just going to rent for a while. And now I'm out in the boonies of Austin because I was like, I would rather have space than, I would rather have a bunch of space than be downtown. And now I'm kind of realizing that like, one, when you're in the boonies, there's like not that many sexy cowboys around. And two, you know, all the action is kind of more south. So this lease is only 5 months. So I'm going to have to do a whole, are you hiring in Austin? I hate my 9 to 5. Okay, Harps, I literally just got done interviewing someone who just has been following me for a while. He randomly like, reached out to me. I take note, like that's why I don't have Instagram on my main phone anymore, because like my ADHD will like even look through my stories sometimes to see who watches. And I just noticed this one person watching my stories, not all the time, but I just noticed like certain people that will come back and watch my stories. And so I noticed this guy, he's a fan or whatever. And then he ends up, I checked my requested messages and he's like, can I work for you? And I think he realized that I have like a team that I've hired out with my Beast with Brains post. You know, Jameson, Henny, Shanti, they've all done a little bit of work for me and they're all like foot in the door. Shanti freaking was mat side, pit side, I should say, for CJI. And that connection was through me. So if you're looking to get in opportunities in jiu-jitsu, like hit up beastwithbrains@gmail.com, because I really feel like I've like created this crazy network in jiu-jitsu. It's fucking amazing. I'm so grateful. But yeah, so the guy that I just talked to, he is probably going to be doing a little bit of script writing and social media stuff. And so I basically just want to have someone that I can fully trust be my social media person. Like, you'll have access to my messages and stuff. Like, I obviously wouldn't want you opening things because people can see when that's opened. But yeah, and then at that point, like if I can keep booking, you know, 5-figure deals and stuff, then that will give me the capital to bring people with me. And then this is just the beginning. Like, you know, we're going to be manifesting the 6-figure deal this year. Like 2026 is a year where we really want to expand. And, you know, maybe that isn't in jiu-jitsu. Like maybe jiu-jitsu doesn't have the capacity for someone to offer 6 figures, but maybe it's something else. And like, you know, there's different parts of the world that have so much money. And so I'm just excited to keep negotiating with people and finding the right. And which brings me to the other part of this thumbnail, which is crypto. A lot of these combat sports companies are backed in some way by crypto guys, whether it is like, I don't know, when I first worked with Karate Combat, they had like big talks with crypto people, or big deals, I should say. Like the main person was a crypto guy. A lot of people were speculating at first that the main investor for CJI was a crypto guy. I cannot say if he is or if he isn't, but like I know who he is and how much money we were talking with. And I'm just so excited for everything that CJI 3 is going to be. But also crypto world, like I hosted for the first time this mastermind for crypto guys. And it was just such a breath of fresh air to be able to interview non-jiu-jitsu athletes, like guys that have been putting in time into a different craft that is so volatile, like literally going from living in a van to finally making it to losing everything again, like starting at ground zero. And it really opened not only my eyes to the different world of crypto, but also just the different world of people that I need to meet and interview and get to know. Like, I love jiu-jitsu, I love martial arts, and I feel like those two worlds really like go well together. Like jiu-jitsu is the cerebral art for a reason, even though I've been getting into Muay Thai. Part of the reason why I'm in this apartment right now is because it's 5 minutes away from my Muay Thai gym. And I've just been training because I potentially want to do a Muay Thai fight in Thailand. That's why this is a 6-month lease, because after the 6 months, I'll probably put my stuff in a pod and just move somewhere for the summer. So, okay, Christian, I'm so sorry you're still waiting for your autograph. I need to like find my key for the mail and do a bunch of other stuff. But literally, where's my to-do list sheet? I'm going to write that on my to-do list sheet and I'm going to send it, because Christian, you are the best. Let's get you hired by one. I definitely am open to anything freelance with all these sports promotions. I feel like it's really hard to go full time with any promotion because you just don't know, the future of them. And then also like, obviously a lot of you guys know that one of my biggest goals when I was like still in college or just getting out of college, like UFC was a big one. Let me know if you'd be interested in a video, long form. I'm probably gonna have this guy Jasper help me with the script writing of like why I chose CJI versus UFC. Because a lot of people that knew me in college, like we would be in advanced feature reporting and everyone was going down the line of like what they wanted to do with this advanced feature reporting broadcast degree. And one of the first things I said was, I'm going to be at the next like main UFC reporter, or not the main, just one of the UFC reporters. And, obviously things got pretty crazy in the buildup of CJI 2. I was at the UFC Fight Pass Invitational event. And the only reason I worked that event and agreed to work for the UFC for that event is because Craig was the one who said like, I'm going to be there. I want you to go. Like I never tried to book with the UFC after I had already been with CJI, just for the record. he was the one who wanted me to go. So then I was like, all right, let me reach out to them. And of course, like I had already been to the UFC Apex. I've already met with some of the people at the top, and they knew, I knew that they wanted to work with me, but I just thought that it was going to be not detrimental to my, I don't want to say brand because that sounds so superficial, but like I felt like it was opposing to what my mission has become in the jiu-jitsu community. And like throwback to ADCC 2024, when I was in live chat with Mo and I was asking like, hey, why is women's pay, you know, not the same? Like, is it because they don't have enough matches? Like, what is this? Like that journalistic curiosity to like better the sport of jiu-jitsu has always kind of been at the core of what I'm trying to do. And if I were to go to the UFC, that would be in a sense like selling my soul and not being able to talk about some of the issues that happen within that company. And it was just all around like not exactly a good look for me if I did go, and also not financially worth it. I haven't been getting into hockey. Dude, there's just so much stuff that's in combat sports that I'm like, I don't know how I can even pay attention to the stuff that I'm supposed to do because I'm just busy living. I think I'm honestly to the point where like I might be skewing a little bit away from sports. Like I just feel like there's so many more interesting people in this world that don't spend all day just watching to see who can get a ball in a goal or cross the fucking touchdown line. I don't know. Is this maturity? Is this brain fully developing? Thank you, Kairos. Yeah, like someone that I do value, and maybe I do value his work, obviously, but I do appreciate in the industry is Ariel Helwani, because he has said something along the lines of like, he never works for the promoter. He's always like an independent journalist. And the only time he ever did work for the promoter is because he's good friends with Jake Paul's, I guess, main manager guy. And yeah, Ariel Helwani is a great inspiration to me. I honestly, when like things were coming down with CGI2, like I felt like a lot of the backlash was partially my fault because I didn't have good post-interview questions for when it really mattered. So basically there was a big controversy at the end of CGI2 where people were confused by the rules. Like they felt like New Wave won 3-2. And when we were all at the rules meeting, it was very clear that if that it would come down to the last match. So like when it was Nicky Rod in the last match against, it was Luke Griffith, right? Like it was very clear to me that B team won based off the rules that we knew. But as a reporter and as like someone who is kind of the main person communicating things to the audience, I didn't like ask that question. So, you know, there's just so much improvement that I have to make. And so who even knows, like, who even knows where we'll go from here when it comes to CGI3, but that was definitely like a big learning lesson to me because I feel like there was a bunch of backlash after the fact, like people talking, whereas I could have just addressed it in that moment. But for me, it was kind of like, oh, like this is such a great moment for B team. Like B team is no longer, like they rebranded to Simpleman Martial Arts. So I wanted to make it more about like the special moment of Nicky Ryan being there, his team winning, them being proud. So because I made it more of like a positive moment, like yay, go B team, I feel like that actually caused a lot of the backlash after the fact because it was just like, oh, are we just going to ignore the elephant in the room because it feels like New Wave won and that this is like, I forget what they were calling it. They're calling Crooked Craig and all that. But they were trying to say that it was fixed or whatever. Anyway, that was my little tangent. Have I run into Chris Williamson yet? Guys, I'm so done with this narrative because at WNO, the last WNO I hosted, I will be hosting the next WNO coming up as well, December 5th. If you're in Austin, come through. I guess I had a Freudian slip. In the main intro, I did it correctly, but in the pre-show, I apparently said alongside Jimmy Smith and Sean Williamson. I'm never gonna live that down, guys. Yeah, people will always complain. I appreciate it. I definitely think that CGI2 was destined for a lot of pushback, no matter what, because I feel like Quintet in the Middle East was so successful because it really felt like Quintet. You had Lenny Hart, you had teams that had it wasn't just all elite grapplers. Like, I feel like quintet almost doesn't really work out as well with all elite grapplers because, one, they're elite strategists. Two, it's really hard to submit an elite grappler in under 8 minutes. And three, the quintet format does reward survivability. Like, it's team survival, submit, advance. So surviving is an element that, like, if you're not a jiu-jitsu nerd, like, I personally thought it was so fun watching Ethan Krellinston survive Declan Moody. And like, I thought the storyline was cool. Like, it's B team, but Declan Moody is representing Australasia. Ethan is freaking tiny compared to Declan Moody. So I thought it was entertaining, but I can see how people on the outside might be like, what the hell? Not as many submissions, like blah, 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 blah. And then you had Craig come in and the investor was like, look, we're putting the bonus out there. And see, that's another thing, like being a woman in the industry, like a lot of people kind of want to put the pressure on me to be like, hey, why wasn't it for the women's too? And I'm just going to make this segue and this argument into everyone was giving crap to Seth and Craig about not upping the women's prize. It was the highest paying women's event. I see why the original backlash came, because they didn't understand that the money was coming from the investor and not Seth and Craig's B team credit card line. So those two things were like completely separate. And also, I think the bigger thing that should be argued about now is that ADCC, last year we were able to get women, everyone show pay, women equal pay compared to the men. And then also the big thing now is obviously the East, all the trials, they don't count for women because the brackets aren't as big. So now I think that is the rightful thing and the reasonable thing for us to fight for as a community, because let's just do the math. Okay, so 2,500 times 8 more contestants or 8 more competitors in each women's bracket. I think it's obviously too late to try to include other divisions, but I think expanding the women's to 16 each is very feasible. Obviously, that show money is nowhere near what Craig and them put up as just like a super fight prize. So like, I think people need to shift their passion for pushing women's sports to ADCC now and expanding it to the full bracket, because I think we're at the point where there is enough depth. And even if you could argue that there isn't enough depth in terms of elite female athletes, that makes it more exciting, because we had Sarah Galvao, who was looked at as, oh, she's just, you know, the wild card, she's not going to win it. Well, guess who took out the 2024 ADCC champ? So there's a bunch of different women in jiu-jitsu right now who stylistically might match up really well with some of the elite grapplers of the female side of jiu-jitsu. Like, am I crazy here? Is it that crazy for us to ask for 16 women brackets for the women? Like, I just don't think I don't think that's that big of an ask. And after meeting the different people in Abu Dhabi and the different people running things, I think that is a valid thing for us to ask. So I'm excited because Anna Mayordomo, she's going to be coming over. Actually, I don't want to disclose where I live, but basically I live very close to a lot of the jiu-jitsu action. So we're going to start getting a lot more people in this little area podcasting. So if you have anyone in particular that you want me to interview, let me know. I love how I wanted to make this like a not super jiu-jitsu based conversation, but it just became that, because that is where the heart lies. I didn't do any anonymous questions today just because I didn't really feel like it, but the team thing would have been fine if they had PGF stalling rules. Yes. So PGF definitely has it all down when it comes to the stalling. I like the way they do it much better. I was confused. I don't know if any of you guys got to watch Quintet, but they kept doing double penalties. I feel like the whole point of a penalty is to penalize whoever is slowing the action and make them go faster. Whereas I feel like if you do the double penalty, it just keeps things the same. And then you kind of just have this like reset awkward moment. Hey, Alex, book Nina Drama versus Alex for CJI 3. Honestly, that would be the most amazing little super match ever. I have nothing but so much respect for Nina Drama. I saw her again in Abu Dhabi when we were at the UAE Warriors fight. And man, she is genuinely such a great human. I remember one of my first interactions with her was at the UFC Apex, and this was before, I forget what fight week. It was definitely a Fight Pass Invitational. And I just like came up to her and, you know, my awkward ass is so awkward sometimes, but I saw her in the bathroom and I was just like, hi, I just wanted to like I wanted to introduce myself because I just have so much respect for what you do. And like being a woman in this industry, like I see the different type of hate that you get, and the fact that you just like keep on going is so inspirational to me. I remember the only time that I was worried about her presence in the space was when at first I thought that maybe it might be like a sexualization of jujitsu, that I was like, oh no, I hope that it doesn't turn into that. And then it definitely didn't. So I literally went up to her and I was in the UFC Apex bathroom and I was just like, I just want to apologize because there was like a TikTok that I did. And you know when you kind of just make content and you're like rushing? I think there was one that was like, it was funny. It was funny. But the way I delivered it might have come across differently. She asked Gordon Ryan, she was like, does the beard match the drapes? And then, so in my TikTok, I was like, and we got new creators building up jujitsu. Like, is this good for jujitsu? Let me know in the comments, fans, like what you think about, you know, these different famous YouTube creators coming in. And I think she commented on it and she's like, thank you for the love, like all that. But I, in retrospect, perceived it as like, oh shoot, like I hope she didn't think that I was being like, oh, like who is this new girl in the space, like all this and that. So I went up to her and I apologized and I was like, I hope you just didn't think that. She's like, oh no girl, like I don't even like remember that and all this and that. Just keep doing what you're doing, like freaking keep killing it. And I was like, oh, she's just such a fucking good person. And also the reason why I knew of her was because my Mexican side of the family is like basically family friends with her boyfriend, who she's been with for 10 years. So whenever people give her like crap about whatever, I'm like, she's literally been in a relationship for 10 years. And her boyfriend is so great. He's Mexican. I think friends with like my Mexican family in San Diego. So just good people recognize good people. And I'm so happy that she's in this industry doing her thing. And that's sometimes why, like, when I first moved to Austin, I was like, okay, yes, I definitely want to get some type of boyfriend to feel grounded. And also like some of the best personalities that you see in combat sports coverage, they have like their boyfriend as the producer or the cameraman, or they just have like an engagement ring that makes it very clear to people that you're like, don't mess, you know, like there can't be any rumors of like people being flirts and all this and that. And so now I'm at the point again where I'm just like, I just need to stop giving a damn about what people think, because no matter what, like if I'm in a thumbnail with someone, if I'm doing an interview with someone, there's going to be people that are like, why is that woman there? She's definitely just an industry plant that has, you know, banged the roster. Like all that stuff just has to become noise to you. And you have to realize that you've put in so much work to get to where you're at. And having a boyfriend to like make you feel like that is confirmed is bullshit. Like, when the right person comes around for me, I'll know. But like right now, like I'm over going on these dates. I was going to make this one. There's like this trend where it's like, I don't know, it's like a song and it's a girl crying. And then at the end or in the middle, she's like, and she's like not actually upset and she's just faking being upset. I was going to put like, when my introverted self has to go on dates as the first caption and I'm crying and I'm like, oh, I hate this. And then, but the foodie in me loves the free food. And I'm just like, eh. So like, whatever, if I'm going to go on dates, okay, so be it. But no dates with Chris Williamson as of right now. I know he has Lyme's disease. So he is, I think, dealing with all that stuff. Anyway, guys, that is me yapping. I don't know if I had anything else in the thumbnail in particular that I robbed you guys of. We talked about Scarface. We talked about crypto. We talked about my Dubai awakening and love. You got all the tea. You guys got all the tea. I will see you guys next time. Anna is going to be coming soon, so I'll probably post on my YouTube channel. Maybe if you guys have questions, I'll probably put it on Instagram as well. She just won ADCC East Coast trials. She also won European trials, but she still has not punched her ticket to ADCC due to the limited capacity for a woman and the limited opportunity that they get. So we're going to talk about all that and more. So I love you guys so much, and I can't wait to keep doing these. If you have any friends that like jujitsu or any comments about how I could make my content different, let me know, because I really feel like long form is going to be a big focus for me. So Harps, let's say in chat, like let's brainstorm what are the 3 long form videos we're gonna do, and I'll text you. I haven't disclosed where I'm training it to the public, but hopefully I can. I've been doing a lot of Muay Thai. I'm not gonna lie. I've been choosing Muay Thai over Jiu-Jitsu quite a bit, but I have a lot of good schools. And should I send a random text to Craig since we're, let's do it. I'm gonna send him a voice note. Oh wait, I can't because WhatsApp is on that phone. Okay, I'll do that another time. I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you so much. Dab it up, and till next time, nerds.